Welcome to a new video. I hope you had an amazing day. Let's take a look at some news stories, shall we? The first story is called, Your Own Price. A large advertising agency in my town emails me, saying they are renewing a song license for a video they made for their client. The agency asks me if they need to renew these time-lapse shots since I didn't specify the length of the license in the invoice. I ignore the email for a few days because my contact over at the agency is a pain to deal with. He emails again and says, "Hey, just making sure we are good and don't need to pay any extra to keep these time-lapse shots on the video." I respond and tell him, "No, per your email 2 years ago, you said this was for a 2-year license. If you want to renew all 20 of these shots, it'll be $2,000, just like before. This is a heavily reduced price since it was originally supposed to be an internal video." He responds with, "No, we made a shorter version of the video and only used 10 shots, so it should be $1,000, right?" I say, "Yes, if you only used 10 shots, it would be $1,000. Just send over a screenshot of what shots you used or a copy of the video and I'll list out the names of the shots on the invoice and give you a license for another 2 years. So some backstory. 2 years ago, this guy tried to get 79 time-lapse shots I spent a year and a half creating, for free. This is a large ad agency in the town I live in, he should know a rough cost for these shots. He initially tried to justify getting these shots for free because I would be increasing my taxes since the city would ultimately be paying for them. He wanted them re-rendered without a watermark and offered to pay me $200 for about 40 hours worth of work and render time. Obviously, I turned that offer down and later we agreed upon a heavily discounted price for the 20 shots he actually wanted. At this point, I no longer trust anything this client says. Fast forward one last time to today. He called and said, "Hey, I hope you had a good holiday. Just trying to wrap this renewal up. I think these terms are much more agreeable." Yes, they are much more agreeable for you, not me. I'm just trying to get you paid. Don't you want $1,000? I'm not interested. Please remove all of the time-lapse shots in question from the video. You're going to turn this down over $300? Yes, I'm tired of dealing with this. You've tried to get something for nothing from the start of the project and you told me you want to renew 10 shots. Then when you sent the video over so I could name the shots for the renewal, there were 13 shots in the video. I don't understand. That's okay. You don't have to. Have a nice day. Without anything further, he ends the call. I'm usually pretty happy to negotiate. But when you ask me to render out 79 time-lapse shots without a watermark for free, then when I give you a heavy discount for the shots you actually want to use and follow up with an email claiming I didn't give you a discount and finally decide to make up your own price when it comes time to renew a license just because you think you can push people around, that's not going to happen. I didn't turn down the renewal over $300, the client did. It'll be nice to never hear from them again. The next story is called, Want to be reported? My mother and I immigrated from Asia when I was a young age. This took place when I was around 10. I was shopping with my mum at a drugstore. She found a case of soda on sale, so she had me lug it. Then, going down the aisle, she saw a cheaper case on sale. So she had me lug the old one back. During this process, there was this scruffy-looking guy with a Confederate flag on his hat giving us the old stink eye. As I was picking up the cheaper case of soda, the guy approaches us and yells, "You shouldn't be moving these cases back and forth. If you don't know what you want to buy, get out." Asian mum activated. In her broken, but very effective English, she yells back, "What you talk? You work here? Who you boss? I want see manager, now." The guy huffs back, "I work here. You can't be doing that. You can report me to the manager." But he's going to say the same thing. But she wasn't having any of that. She goes around the store, yelling to see the manager, with the guy still following us around. That was kind of creepy. Finally, one of the frightened pharmacy techs pages the store manager. The manager comes around in a couple of minutes and asks what the problem is. My mum immediately pounces. Employee say I no buy soda. He follow me and tell me I no can carry soda. She goes on to rant for a minute. The guy with the Confederate hat is looking a little sheepish at this point. The manager says, "You're a driver for one of our vendors, aren't you? You don't work here. Is this true?" "Yes, but she shouldn't be carrying stuff around the store like that. Get out and don't ever come back here again." The guy mutters something and then leaves. I never saw that guy again. The manager apologizes to us and we carry on with our shopping. Suffice to say, we shopped there all the time until we moved to a different neighborhood. The third story is called, Not Answer Any Questions. My director loves power and just overall is miserable to work for. From the very start, she has made it very clear that she doesn't like me, which is totally fine. But I'm good at my job and I'm not willing to let her tell me something different. People don't stick around very long in my position and I totally get it. It is a hard job and she makes it so much worse. In the past year, my program has gone through 5 case managers. So, at this point, I'm just watching people come and go. I'm the lead case manager in my program. I have been the go-to for a while now, and when there are questions, I'm usually the one to ask. She hates this. She hates having to ask me for anything, and her rules are that no one is to come to me for any reason and everyone must go to her first. This is for literally anything. Again, totally fine. Less work and responsibility for me. She has gone out of her way to scold me for answering other case managers' questions, accusing me of going over her head and training. She makes a really big deal over it, and I have been told, you may not answer any questions at any time for any reason. She is getting set to retire this December and has been taking a lot of time off using her years of paid time off. Our assistant director has also spent a good amount of time out of the office. Because there are always new case managers in training and they are the only ones who can answer any questions, I refer any and all questions to her. My go-to response to any and all questions is, I'm not really sure. I know how I would do it, but just to be sure you should really ask the director. My case managers in training has to call our director anytime she has a question. She was recently out of the office for a week and the new case manager had to call for instruction three times that week. When she returned from her vacation, she was upset that she had been called so many times. I just simply reminding her that I wanted to make sure the new case manager was getting the correct direction and I was told I shouldn't give any instructions. The new case manager was also assigned to the after-hours emergency phone and received an emergency call 2 nights in a row at 1 and 3. If it was any other program, the person in my position would have been the go-to but not me. Instead, she called and woke the director up 2 nights in a row. A new memo has come out. I can now answer questions. The last story is called, Because I Told You So. In the office where I used to work, there was a very large Excel file related to a certain project. Multiple sheets, 100 columns, tens of thousands of rows, years of data. I was, unfortunately, in charge of this file. So all edit requests came to me. A few weeks ago, I got an email from my senior coworker, Ursula, that said, all records for the last month should be marked as verified. Please edit this column, so that the value is true for all rows for September 2019. This seems strange to me because only about 10% of records were usually verified, and also she was requesting a large change involving thousands of records. So I emailed her back and asked her why. She wasn't very forthcoming, but after some back and forth, I figured out what she wanted. The data in the spreadsheet was used to create a dashboard accessed by a client. One of the dashboard panels was configured so that it showed only verified data. Ursula had decided that she wanted this panel to show both verified data and data from last month. This by itself was not a bad idea, but the way she wanted to change the data was the worst. My reply to Ursula was something along these lines: if I understand what you're saying, you're asking me to add incorrect information to the spreadsheet for the purpose of making them appear in the panel. Adding incorrect information in this column will cause major issues. For example, other parts of the dashboard will display errors and wrong totals. We can get the result you want by simply editing the panel so that it shows both verified data and data from last month. This is a very quick edit, much faster than editing the spreadsheet, and I can have it completed by this afternoon. Let me know if this solution is okay with you. I figured she'd tell me to go ahead and I'd edit the panel in 10 minutes and be done with it. No such luck. Ursula replied with, "Why are you talking about errors in the other panels? I don't want to edit any other panel. I just want that one panel to show the data from last month. Can't you just edit the spreadsheet? Just mark all records for September as verified. It's not difficult." She then included our manager in the entire conversation. And of course, our manager, who's just as incompetent as Ursula, emailed me, "Please be kind enough and do as Ursula told you." So I did as she told me. I selected all September 2019 entries, deleted whatever was previously in the verified column and set all the records as true. I then saved the file and emailed both Ursula and manager to confirm I'd done as they asked and repeating my warning about errors. Ursula replied to say thank you and that there were not going to be any errors. She was so certain about this miraculous lack of errors that she almost had me convinced. Obviously, unsurprisingly, errors did happen. Last week, both my manager and Ursula walked up to my desk, looking like thunder, and demanded to know why our dashboard was now showing 0 unverified records for the month of September when Ursula was so sure that there were many unverified records. Do you remember when Ursula asked me to mark all records for September as verified? Ursula looked shocked. As I said, changing the records would cause issues. This is one of the issues. The manager also looked shocked. How are you going to fix this? It would take me a few days to retrieve the correct verified status for those records. The file was a huge mess, the changes were poorly tracked. But tomorrow is my last day. So, I won't have time to fix it. But I will write down the instructions. Is that okay? I have zero doubts that, after I left, Ursula and my manager blamed the entire thing on me. To be honest, if I hadn't already given my notice, I would have tried harder to convince Ursula that editing the file was not necessary to do what she wanted, or at the very least I would have edited the files in a way that was easier to undo. But I had given my notice and I was tired of being treated like I was lazy or uncooperative just for saying that maybe data integrity is important and we shouldn't go around changing stuff just for the hell of it. I spent my last day watching Ursula and that manager try and fail to retrieve the correct verification status, and when I left, they were nowhere close to done. Thanks for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please consider subscribing to the channel for more content. Let me know what you think about the stories in the comment section below. Have a great day. Bye bye.